Hello boys and girls, good afternoon and welcome to Critical English for grade 7 and 8. Today we're continuing with expository writing and this time we're looking at sequence. So the last class we said that expository writing does what?
Give instructions.
Give instructions. It tells us how to get something done or it gives us information. So this type of writing is what we use for formal as well as business, and it's the type of writing that we make use of every day. So have you used expository writing in any form today? Can you think of anything that you would have done where you give information, give direction, you follow the recipe, you followed something to get something done? Yeah, Shamar? How did you use it?
To discuss.
To discuss what?
To play discuss.
To play.
Sport.
Oh, discuss. Yeah, super. So you had to sort of calculate and follow the instruction on how to stand first of all, because you have to stand. I used to do sports. You have to stand, and then you have to swing at least 3 times, yeah? And then you release. Good. So you have to follow those steps before you can release and have your desired outcome, which is to try and throw the fortis. Yes? Good. Akila, what Alio, what about you?
I can't remember.
You don't think you use it at any time today?
No, I don't think so.
No, you did not give somebody any information. So your teacher asks you for something and you say, okay, miss, this is how you do it. No. Mommy didn't ask you how you can do something? No. All right. So today we're looking at sequence and we're saying, of course, the sequential order. If you're following, the first thing about sequential order is that it takes into account steps in a process or event. So when we hear the word sequence, what do you think of?
Something in order.
In order. So it means that things have got to be side by side in an orderly manner. And where could we find an example of that? How many of you watch television show? You do? Do you watch television show?
Yeah.
Sort of. All right. So if you start from the end of the show, would you have a sense of what's happening in the show? No, where you have to start from? Episode 1, right? Season 1, episode 1, and then we move to season 1, episode 2, right? And that helps us to be able to do what? Follow in a sequence how the events have unfold. All right? So like I said, remember I said that this is the most practical type of writing that we're going to utilize. It's a step-by-step direction. So when we're using sequence in expository writing, we've got to provide step-by-step information. We've got to provide our readers with a step-by-step. Okay, so firstly, you do this, then you do that, and then you do this, and then you do that. All right? And so examples could be what? Owner's manuals, right? Owner's manual, like in our manual. And when we spoke about this the last class, Shamar, the manual to set up something. This is an example of something done in sequence. First, they tell you that you've got to take the toy out the box, right? And then you got to look for these parts. You got to make sure that you have the parts. And then sometimes they even have them numbered. Isn't that so? And they tell you number 1 will have to go here, number 2 here, number 3. And once you follow the step-by-step process, you are able to achieve the intended or the desired outcome. Isn't that so? Right? And we're going to see if we can do that today. And then cookbooks. How many of you like cooking? Do you like cooking, Shamar? What about you, Ali? Yeah, now you think. Me, you could be in the same boat. I cook because I have to. Yeah. So you have to do it. You don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. But you enjoy cooking, yeah? So what is your most favorite dish to prepare?
Would I prepare curry?
Curry. And so there are certain steps. Did you learn to make curry on your own, or somebody told you how to do it?
Told me.
They told you how to do it, and they guided you through the process, right? By step by step by step. First they said, well, you got to cut up your chicken, and then you got to do what is it they say where you're doing the curry? There's a name where you do the curry. Anyway, we're not going to go into that. So we're looking at, and am I able to edit? An example of a sequence is a process. Now, the process in itself is something sort of different from sequence, right? But in order to get through the process, we can use sequence to help us achieve the desired outcome. All right? So I have 2 videos for us that I would like for us to examine. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to try to do what? Make a paper boat. Now, have you ever made a paper boat? No? Like, which society do you... The world has really changed. So we've got our paper, all right? And we're going to follow the sequence, the step-by-step process, on how to make a paper boat. Now, there are 2 types of paper boats, okay? And we're going to see if we can make the 2. And we're going to see if we can really follow the step-by-step process. So I'm going to play it for a little bit, and then we're going to follow the instruction, and then we're going to come back to the video, and then we're going to move between the video and actually fold making our boat, right? Good. So let's listen carefully. And when we're finished with this, your task would now be to write down the steps that you would have followed to make your paper boat. So you got to remember what you did first, what you did secondly, and so on, right? So that we can have a direction on how to make a paper boat. Sounds about fun and interesting, something that we can achieve. All right, let's go.
7 from Easy Origami, and today I'll be teaching you how to fold a paper boat. This is a classic traditional design, and it's very easy to fold. This model requires 1 rectangular sheet of paper.
So we've got a rectangular.
Square paper won't work for this design, but standard US letter paper or A4 paper should work just fine. And once you've prepared your paper, then we're going to start by holding our rectangle long ways. And then we're going to fold in half horizontally.
Okay.
So take the bottom edge and fold it up to the top edge.
All right. So we stop there, and we make sure we follow that instruction, what it says. So we're folding. Everybody good? All right. Good. Make sure the edges are even so that you can have an even boat. Right, we don't want it lopsided. Good? Are we good? Can we continue now? Good.
And the edges, then make your crease.
And we want to do what?
Fold in half vertically. So take this right edge and fold it over to the left edge.
All right, so we're doing it the opposite way now. And we're folding here. Yeah? Remember, we gotta ensure that the edges are even, yeah? Getting through, Alia? Yeah. All right, so you wanna put it flat on the table, so that should help you. All right, good. So you want to work on the flat surface. Continuing.
And the edges. Take the paper 90 degrees. And now we're going to fold in the top 2 corners and align them with the center vertical crease. So we're going to start with this top right corner, and we're simply going to pull it over to the middle as if we were creating a paper airplane. Then what you want to do is start at the top of the vertical crease and work your way down until this entire...
All right, so what we want to do, we want to make sure that we're using the top. So to fold, we're going to use this top, not the top with the bottom, right? Not the piece that can open up. So we fold from here and we go down here. Yeah, good. All right, and yes, and we want to do the same thing for the opposite side. So let's see.
Right. And then you can make your crease. Then we're going to do the same thing on the left.
All right.
So again, we're just going to pull the left corner over to the center of the model. And once this edge is completely aligned with the center vertical crease, then you can make your crease. Hold up this bottom rectangle as far as it goes. So we're just going to lift up on the very top layer of paper.
All
and
right,
we're going to
so
pull it.
I'm gonna go back that piece in a minute. So do we have our neatly fold creases? All right, good. Yeah, you good, Shamar? All right, so let's go back a little bit to make sure we get this part. All right, so let's go.
Layer of paper, and we're going to pull it up like this. And once it reaches a point where it doesn't want to go any further, that's where you want to make your crease.
All right.
Model over, and we're going to do this.
Are we good?
Yes.
All right, so we can turn it over and repeat the same process. We gotta make sure this time though, remember this time we don't have anything to block it, so we gotta make sure that it's in alignment with the first one. Okay. All right, good? We're good?
Yes, ma'am.
We can continue?
Thing. So once again, we're going to lift up on this bottom edge, and we're going to pull it up as far as it goes. You'll see that the paper will align with the layers underneath, and then you can make your crease.
All right. All right.
Lift up the model and look at it from underneath. Then what we want to do is slightly separate the two layers in the center, so just slightly open up the model like this. Then we want to push the left and right corners towards one another. So just bring both corners together just like this until they meet. And then we're going to look at the model from the side. And you'll see that the two layers on the bottom do not lie flat.
Okay,
So
so do we have it? All right, and we're gonna flip it in to make sure that it goes. So here, come in, and we have the two flips here. So one go under the other. So one go here, all right.
Do you see what other side?
Yes,
Like under here?
yes. Good to go? Same
Yes.
thing over there. All right, good.
tuck this right flap underneath the left flap. So just tuck it underneath like that. Model
So we have
over,
this.
and we're going to do the same thing. So once again, tuck this right flap underneath the left flap, just like this. And then the entire model should lie flat. And now we're going to fold this bottom corner up to the top corner. So we're just going to lift up the very top layer of paper, and we're going to pull it up as far as it'll go.
Okay,
And once both corners...
lift up. We're good. And once it's even, we crease out. Next side. Repeat the process. All right. Gotta make sure you crease out, Shamar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So put it flat so you're able to work. I think you're able to work better when it's flat. So you've got to go back for a bit, Shamar, because yours is a. All right. So yours is a little weird. All right. And then you fold out. Crease out. It probably can go up a little bit more. Don't you think?
Yeah.
All right. So we have that.
top of the model, then you can make your crease all the way across. Model over, and we're going to do the same thing. So once again, we're going to fold up this bottom corner as far as it goes. So just pull it up until both corners are aligned at the top of the model. Then you can make your crease all the way across. And from here, we're going to lift up the model and look at it from underneath. Then again, we want to slightly separate the two layers by pushing the left and right corners in towards one another as far as they'll go. So just push the corners together until they meet, just like this.
All right, hold on.
Then we're going to look at the model.
All right, so remember it's like this. We want to lift it up, looking at it from the inside. Open. Yeah, you gotta open here, Akila. Open here. Yes. And then we bring it in. All right. Good. So we're almost there. Good. Got it, Shamar? Good.
And now you'll notice these two triangle shapes. And what we want to do is grab each triangle from the top, and we're going to pull them apart in opposite directions. So just pull them apart as far as they'll go. Then we're going to flatten out the model, make a nice crease along that bottom edge. Then we're going to lift up the model once again, slightly separate the layers on top, and once you've done that, then your paper boat is complete. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial.
All right, Akila, so you got to pull it out. So we're here. You've got to pull it out completely. So you've got to pull it out, and then you fold here. So fold and crease the bottom there. All right, make sure it's creased properly. All right, there you go. There you go. You got it? Got it, Shamar? All right, so we're here. All right, so you're pulling from the wrong side, not this side. You got to take these two and pull. Yeah. Oh, yours coming like this. Hold on, Shamar. I think you went your own way. Let's see. So where do we go back? Here. Something. Oh, you missed a step. Here. And then you take these two and you bring it out. All right, and you want to fold your bottom to crease it out. And you have your boat. Good. Did you enjoy that? It's actually fun. Akila's Ali is driving hers along. May probably need these when it rains. So you got yours? So we were able to achieve the boat. You can show your colleagues and, you know, the viewing public your boat. This is mine. I'm going to write my initial on it and put it up for safekeeping. So good. So now your task is to write out your step. Can you remember the steps that you follow? Sort of. All right, so let's see what you have done. There you go. It's your pencils. And let's see how much time we have. Yeah, so we're almost there. So I'm going to demonstrate and you're going to write. Yes? Good? All right, so we're listening, we're ready, we're writing. Good. So what we do first is we fold. We have it in which way? Rectangle. And then we fold. All right, so I'm not saying anything. I'll just do it and you'll write, yes? No, I started wrong. I should have started here. This is where you start. Yeah? This is where you start. And then you fold here. Am I going too fast? Or you're writing?
Go too fast. I feel the refolding it.
All right, so tell me. I'm doing this so as to jog your memory, so you remember what went where. right, good. So what you're going to do now is you're going to tell me what to do. All right? You're going to tell me what to do so that I can follow the steps. So what do I do first?
Make sure the shape is in the rectangular.
All right. Is it a rectangular shape? Good. So what do I do next?
You fold it from the bottom upward.
All right. So am I going correctly?
Yes.
All right. So I'm folding it from the bottom up. And then I want to do what?
Crease down the ends. I think.
Crease it out. Yes. Crease it out. What's next?
You open it out and fold it from the sharp end upward.
Okay. All right. And what do I do next?
You crease it out again.
All right. So I crease it out again. Yeah. And then what do I do now?
You fold from the corners into the middle, like if you're making a paper airplane.
All right. Okay. What do I do next, Shamar?
You bring the left top edge in to the intersection with the right evenly.
Okay. And then I crease up.
Yes.
Okay. What do I do next?
You pull from the bottom into those as far as it can go.
As it can go. All right. Then what do I do next?
Flip it around and do the same with the other side.
All right. Following your guidance, you know. So if I don't make the boat right, I'm blaming Shamar and Akil and Alia. What do I do now?
You look at it from the bottom.
You push it from.
You push it from the side.
Am I going right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take these flaps and put it on one another.
So we tuck them in.
Yeah.
All right.
You do the same with the next side.
Okay. What do I do next? Examine it and tell me what do I do next.
Do you have to fold it again?
Probably. So do you think I should fold it again?
Yes, I think you should fold it again.
Okay. Following your instructions, you know. Following your step-by-step sequence. Yes? And I repeat again, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. Now what do I do next?
You you look at it from the bottom and open it up.
Open it up.
Just like that. And something like that. Oh, yeah, you put it out. Oh, actually,
So, and then I pull it out and flatten, and voila, we've made the boat again. So this is what we have got to do. What we've got to record this. So this is how we make a paper boat by using sequence in expository writing, and that means that we're doing what? Following a step-by-step instruction or guide, doing it side by side in an order to have a desired outcome. And in this case, our desired outcome was to do what? To make a paper boat. All right? And there we have the paper boat. And I think that is all the time that we've got for today. I initially had one more video that I wanted you to look at. So let's look at this video. And for homework, you're going to make this paper boat. All right? So we've got a few minutes left. Let's go to this video. So you look at it and you'll tell me whether or not the person in the video followed a sequence. So you're going to write down how many steps this person did. So for the purpose of this video, you're going to prepare your papers and have steps, and then every move that he makes, you're going to write whether it's, you're going to tally it for a step. So when he's done, we'll see how many steps he took to get to the end product. All right?
We're writing down the steps he did.
Not the steps he did. You're tallying. So do you know how to tally?
Yes, like
Tally.
sure.
So every step he, like for instance, he's now folding the paper. That's a step, right? And if he does something else, will be another step, another step, another step. And of course, when we get to 4, we count for 5 this way, and then we continue in like manner. All right? So let's see how many steps he would have followed to arrive at this type of paper boat. Okay? All right, how many have you got?
I have 25.
25? How many have you got, Shamar?
Yeah, I got 25.
25? So I've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31. So there are little things that he did in between that I think you guys missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw and I wasn't quite sure if writing them down.
Yes, so it means therefore if we are following that, we've got to follow it to the T, all right? Every detail counts. All right. And so today we've looked at what? We've looked at expository writing. So I'm going to send the video to the group, and then we're going to try. If you notice this one, this is a little more complex, yeah? This is a little bit more complex, and it requires us to do a little bit more than making the regular size paper boat. But did you enjoy the lesson? Yeah. Yes? You enjoyed doing things that I assume, where you can manipulate, yes? Yes. So today we looked at expository writing, and let's recap quickly what expository writing is. Expository writing has to do with what?
Sequence.
Not sequence, we look at sequence today, but expository writing in general. They give instruction, yes, as one way of using expository writing. Yes, so expository writing is the type of writing that tells us how to do something or how to get something done. It provides us with what? Information, critical information that we need to get a task done or to get to somewhere, because we have instructions, directions as well. All right, and today we looked at sequence, and we said that sequence is what? Order, yes. Getting something done in order, a step-by-step way of getting something done. And so why do we need a step-by-step method or process? So that it can be done in order, so that we can have our desired outcome. All right? And that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much, Alia. Thank you so much, Shamar, for joining us. And thank you to the members of the public. Please remember to stay tuned for math, and I will see you next Wednesday. Have a great evening, and do enjoy your weekend. All right, so I'm leaving papers.
Good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome to Critical Mathematics for grades 7 and 8. And I hope you did go over some of the work that we did in the last session. And if you were absent, that you would have been following the videos or the work that was given to you. Have you done that? No, you didn't. You weren't able. Anyhow, I hope when we continue, you will follow through. And at the end, you will understand. Okay, so you just did your English class and you were making some beautiful boats. So I'd like you to hold the boats for me. Examine it. And Shamar, could you recall the last class what topic we were looking at?
Yes, miss.
What it was?
Lines and angles.
And angles. All right. So on the boat, do you think you could identify any one of or any part that will represent an angle? No problem.
This part, I can obtuse angle.
Okay. So show me the complete obtuse angle.
From the angle going back.
Exactly. Right? So yes, indeed, we have an obtuse angle. And what we know about obtuse angle?
They are more than 90 degrees.
They're more than 90 degrees, but less than 180. So do we have any other angle there?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
A straight angle.
We have a straight angle. Show me the straight angle.
Here.
You could you show me another part of the boat for the straight. All right. Okay, let me see you. Not that part really.
No, the bottom here.
All right, yes, the bottom you will more get a straight angle, right? That is a straight angle, Shamara, but because of where it is, you wouldn't be able to identify with it so well, right? So the bottom you will get a straight angle. So indeed, you did remember some of the angles and how the angle would be drawn, right? Even using your boat. So even in drawing your boat and making your boat, you had to form some angles, right? So let's go by looking at my screen. So this afternoon, we continue with the types of angles, right? So if we can recap, please call the types that we would have done the last time.
Straight angle.
Straight angle. Continue.
Reflex angle.
Reflex angle.
Full angle.
Full angle.
I think that's an acute angle. I'm not quite sure.
Acute angle, yes.
Obtuse angle.
Obtuse angle.
And right angle.
And right angle. So we did those basic angles. And if you would have noticed, the straight angle is exactly 180 degrees because we did spoke about the degrees or the size of the angle also. We have the reflex angle that is greater than the 180 degrees. I need you to pay attention to the angles that are represented by the arc and the colors. Right? Pay attention to them. We have the full angle that actually creates an entire circle that is equal to 360 degrees. The right angle, what actually represents the right angle? From on the shape that you're seeing there, what tells you it's a right angle?
Because it's exactly 90 degrees.
But
Is that a rectangle or a square?
it's a little rectangle or a square there, right? That little box there actually is identified. So you don't have to write 90 degrees there. You can write the other box. You can write the box. But all the other angles, you will put what size it is. If it's a 180 or a 72 or 142 or whatever it is, you will write that in the arc, right? So those were the last angles that we did, and we're going on to some additional angles. Call the first one that we're seeing.
Adjacent.
Adjacent angle. So the adjacent angles with a common side and a common vertex. Remember what we said about the vertex? Shamar, could you remember where the vertex is?
The vertex.
Show him by the boat. Show me a vertex on the boat. Ali, you could you recall?
As a vertex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
No.
The vertex are actually the peaks. Right? All the peaks are the vertex or the vertices. Right? So it's actually easy to remember. Just remember the peak that represent the vertex. So they have in the adjacent angle, you have two angles represented there. You can have more than two. You could have as much angles as you want to have or is given to you within that shape there. However, you must know the entire size of the angle before you can find one or the other, right? So you must be given the entire angle and another angle before you can use it to find the missing angle, right? So we have the adjacent, and it is also said to be complementary. They're actually complementing each other to form the adjacent angle. We have the vertical angle. If you notice that they are actually, what you can say about, what you recognize about those two angles?
They were kind of connecting and they're both pointing to different directions.
Good, and give me one word that will probably say something about them too.
They're meeting at the intersection.
That's
They're
true.
like positive and negative. They're I know
Good. You say positive and negative, no problem. But what about positive and negative number? What we could say about them?
they are
They are,
Equal.
no, they are opposite to each other. So the vertical angles are actually opposite to each other. So angles that have a common vertex and the sides are formed by the same line, vertical angles are equal in measures. So basically, they are opposite to each other and they are equal to each other, right? So if you have to find a vertical angle, it's basically identifying the angle opposite to it, and that angle must be equal to it also. And sometimes I would say, if you recognize it's in a particular shape, what shape it is in, if you look at the entire shape, what comes to mind? A x, right? A x. So no matter how the x is drawn, those two parts opposite each other will be equal, no matter how the x is drawn. If it is drawn small, wide, narrow, it doesn't matter. It will be always be equal to each other. Then we have the complementary angles. Angles whose measure add up to 90 degrees. We know the 90-degree angle, how it looks, right?
yes.
Remember the last session, Shamar, I was asking you to recognize something to get the 90-degree angle. Could you remember? Could you recall? Even if when you are drawing it, think about something to draw it. An L, right? It's like a kind of perfect L. Good. So the 90-degree we know looks like an L, right? That forms a 90. But you can know one part of that angle. And because we know the entire angle is 90, we can find the other part of it, right? Because we know the entire thing. It's just that we have one missing part. Good. Because if we have $500 and Shamar got $300, that means you will get 200 because we know the money that is shared is $500 in all, right? So same goes. We know the entire angle is 90 degrees. So if we know one of the angle, we'll be able to find the other angle. Good? Follow?
Yeah.
Good. Then we have the supplementary angle. The supplementary angle actually divides the what angle? The straight angle. So the supplementary angle divides the straight angle. You could divide it into 2 angles, 3 angles, it doesn't matter how many. But you must know certain information before you'll be able to solve it. So the supplementary angles, angles whose measure add up to 180. So don't matter how many angles you're given on a straight line, your total, when you add all up, you must get 180. All right? So what are the angles we have there? Adjacent, vertical, complementary, and supplementary angles. Great. So let's go. So let's look at these here. Remember, we started recapping what we did in the last class. Then we added a few more into it. So let's go back for a few. Sketch those 4 angles, new angles, because you would have had the other ones before. Sketch it quickly. Do remember to put the name of the angle there also. So for instance, for the vertical angle, you can put a note at the side of it. Angles are equal. OPP, opposite angles, are equal. For the complementary angle that we know, total up or adds up to 90 degrees. So you can say angles 1 plus 2 equal 90 degrees. Or sum of angles equal to 90 degrees. Then we have the straight angle that equal to 180 degrees. So our answers must not go over a certain amount. Our angles, fair enough, thank you. Our angles for the complementary must not pass 90, the total sum. The straight angle must not pass 180. The vertical angles must be equal to each other. However, for the adjacent angle, it depends on how much is given as the sum of the entire size of the angle. So could we go back to what we're going to try for this afternoon? Yes. Great. Good. So let's try. So Shamar, could you recall the first angle there? What would we name it? Angle A.
For A?
Yes.
Reflex
angle. Alia, do you agree?
Yes, miss.
Reflex angle. Great. What about angle? What about a reflex angle?
It's more than 180.
It's more than 180. And if you notice, it's when the 180 angle is straight, that one has a bigger size. It is much bigger. The arc is much bigger. So let's go to B. B for you.
Right angle.
Right angle. Do you agree, Shamar?
Yes.
And what about a right angle?
It has a box to show you that.
Good. What else?
It's 90 degrees.
It's equal to 90 degrees. Good. C. Shamar?
A acute angle.
An acute angle. Do you agree?
Yes.
Great. What about the acute angle?
It's less than 90.
Less than 90 degrees. So it would be a smaller angle. And the arc also would look small. And then we have D would be considered as a
Obtuse.
and obtuse angle. What do we know about the obtuse?
It is more than 90 but less than 180.
It's more than 90, but it's smaller than 180. Great. So just as we recap those, let's go to finding this missing angle. The first one, which angle, general angle, would you identify question A with?
Straight angle.
Straight angle. Great. Copy that shape. And what we know about the straight angle?
It's equal to 180.
So we know the straight angle is equal to 180. So now that we know that, when writing it, we need to set it down a little with a little order, and as Miss said, as sequence, right? So we know that the two sides, what is the first angle, the size of the first angle? 22. Plus, what is the size of the other angle?
It's just A.
A. And that is equal to?
But A equal to?
The entire angle is equal to?
180.
180 degrees. Great. So we know when we add these two values up, we must get 180, but we do not know this value. But do you remember we were doing some work like this when we were finding the unknown?
Yes.
Good. Could you recall what we had to do?
We send the 2 over.
Exactly, 22. Send the 22 over. And what we would do with it?
Subtract.
Subtract, because it's positive over here. So we will take it away from the other side. Great. So our value for A would be now
158.
158. Do we agree?
Yes, yes.
So if we add 22 to 58, we will get 180.
Yes.
Great. And what I need you to recognize, very important, so we have our angle, and we have 22 here. Agree?
Yes, miss.
Then on the other side, how much would be this now? What would be the size of A?
150.
158. Now, what could you tell me about these two angles?
One is more than the other.
One is larger than the other, right? So what I want you to recognize, that even when you're doing something like this, try to not make the mistake of, for instance, saying this is 22 and this is 158. Because how can the smaller size be in the larger part, right? A lot of persons make that mistake, right? So look at your angle and think about your answer. So if your angle, your missing angle is large, your answer cannot be smaller than the one given to you, right? Especially when the angle given to you is smaller. Great. So let's look at the other one. You completed the other one already? So we could take this, right?
Yes, miss.
All right. So let's consider the other one. What do I write? What's the total size of the other angle? What type of angle it is, first of all?
Right angle.
It's a right angle triangle. And what about the right angle triangle? So
It's equal to 90 degrees.
good. So we have the two angles adding up to 90 degrees. What's the first angle?
Right is 35.
We have 35. Plus
B.
B. B degrees actually
Yeah.
equal to
90
90.
degrees.
Good. So what do?
We send the 35.
We take the 35 over so that we can apply it.
and we write B equals 90 degrees minus 35.
Great. Shamara, you with us?
Yes, miss.
So what would be your final answer for that part of the
55.
55? Shamara, agree?
No, miss.
What did you get?
45.
45. Okay, let's look at this. So, Shamar, we got, Achilles, Aliyah got 55, and we take away 35. So let's add it back. 5 and 5,
10.
8, 3 and 5,
9.
3 and 5,
8.
plus the 1 from the 10 will give you,
9.
so you'll get your, good. So if you had 45, what answer you would have gotten? We would have had 4 here, so 3 and 4, 3 plus 4, 7 plus 1. So would you have gotten your 90? Good. So you can check back your answers. Don't ever use your first answer that you get. You check it back to see if you went wrong with your calculation. Right? So we good here? All right, look, let's look at the other one quickly.
Well, I can't. Miss, what is marked there? I can't see.
Okay, so we have C. First of all, what size of angle we have there? What type of angle, sorry? The complete, look at the complete picture.
Angle.
Straight angle, it is a straight angle. Because remember I said to you, the angles can have different amount, it can be divided into many other angles. And it also has a what inside of it? What it has inside of it? A. What are we seeing inside of it?
Up this.
What does this represent? Remember we look at the little square, what does it represent? A right angle triangle.
But that's, oh, it is a square.
Yeah. It's not perfectly drawn, right? Because we didn't measure it or so. So it's a right angle triangle. And what we know about a right angle triangle? It's equal to 90. So we actually know the size of this angle. So we're dealing with a straight angle. So what are the parts of the angle?
One is 90
We have a 90.
plus 90 degrees plus 51
We have a 51.
plus C.
We have a C. We do not know that. And we're totaling up to
Just
180.
180.
yeah.
Good. So what could we do on this one side? Add it up, we will get
That'll be 100 and
100 and 5 and 9 is
141.
141. Plus C is equal to 180. Great. What do we do next?
We put 180 minus 41
Because we are setting there
in
141 over. So you'll have C is equal to 180 subtract 141. That will give you, so look at it, stop trying to calculate too hard, look at it. We have a 80 and we have a 41. Half of 80 is what? 40. But we know we have 1 extra, right? So if we take out 1 from that 40, what we will get? 39. So if we add 39 to 41, what would we get? We get 80 here. So 180 minus 41, 180 minus 141 will give us what? 39. So we don't have to look at the whole number to get our answer. You can look separate apart because we know we already have 100. We'll take away 100. Good. So we have 80 and a 41. We know half of 80 is 40, but we don't want 40, we want a 41, so we need to take back out a 1. Leave it 39. So your answer is 39 degrees. Fair?
Yes.
Okay, Shamar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're getting down. So let's see. We know how to do this. So copy the second, copy D. And we should be able to do that by ourselves because we just did one.
That's 52 or 32.
52.
$52 and 65.
D.
Don't show away your D. Put back your D in front.
Okay.
So,
Plus D. Okay, so then that would be 189.
Great. So you add it back up. Okay, set it down like how we would set it down there now. So that is for your calculation purpose.
I'm finished.
Great. So if we add 65 and 52, what would be our total?
117.
117, because 5 and 2 would be 7, and 6 and 5 is 11. Good? So now we're taking it over and we're subtracting. So I'm actually going to say, if I minus the 100 will go. And I want to take 17 out of 80. But I will try a number close. That is easy. I can take 20 out of 80. If I take 20 out of 80, what remains? 60. Great. But did I want to take out 20? No. How much I wanted out? 17. So out of the 20, how much I need?
17.
No. I need, out of the 20, how much I need to take out to have the 17?
I think it's 2, no 3.
3. I need 3 out of the 20 to get this, to cancel out the 17. So I just need 3 here. So my total should be 63. Are we correct with any, I correct with anyone there?
Yes.
63? Great. So you would have also solved one by yourself. Let's look at the other one. The other one should just be giving me an answer. What angle the other one represent? We have 130 degree. We have an E and we have an F. Think about the F. What does that which angle would represent that one? Look at where it's positioned. Remember I spoke about the X. Good. So how much would F be? What would be the total of F?
130 degrees.
Why?
Because they're equal to each other.
They're equal, so what's the name of the angle that would create that?
130.
No, the name of the vertical. Right? So that one, F is 180 degrees because it's equal to each other. They're opposite. Copy the thing quickly. You have 30 seconds. So your answer for F, and when you're writing it, should be 130 degrees. So that's all you need to write. F equal 130 degrees. Because you don't have anything because it's a vertically opposite angle. Good. So look at it. How do you think we could find E?
Oh, that's E. That's C.
Think about it. Look at where E is positioned. What would you use to find E? Which one of the angles that we would have learned? Look at the shape in isolation. Look, you're given this shape. You know here, you know this is E. If I do this, what would I get? What would I get if I do that?
A straight angle.
A straight angle. And you know how to find a straight angle. Wasn't this a straight angle?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So not because it's in a different shape than what you see when you had a straight angle, you can't find it. So even when you're given these compound shapes, you look at the parts in isolation of the other part. If you look at it like that, you see a straight angle. So how would we find it?
We
Subtract it from 180 degrees.
Yeah.
Good. And look at the last one there, because you'll be finishing it off for homework. Do we see a complete circle? If it was drawn neatly, couldn't you see a complete circle around that point?
Yeah.
Good. And what we know about a complete circle? What's the size of the angle?
More than 1.
360. So if we know the other two parts and we have to find one part, what do you think we have to do? Add it and subtract it from 360, just what we did here. Right? So for those, I will send you the work. I have one more that I will send to you for you to try for homework. So when we come back for the next session, we will do the recap and for you to tell me what you understood and if you would have gotten your homework correct. Right? So you too have a blessed afternoon. Audience, you do have a blessed afternoon, and see you come next week for the other sessions for mathematics and English. Good afternoon.